What's up, guys? Welcome to the next episode of Mom, It's My Life. I'm joined here with my co-host, Christopher Mitchell.
Yo, what is up? I'm Christopher Mitchell.
Who are we joined with?
We are joined with the wonderful Jill McMahon. Big shout out. Woo!
Hell yeah. One of my favorite people ever.
Aww.
So, Jill, tell us, where'd you live? Where did you grow up? And explain how we met.
How we met. That's a fun story. Mm-hmm. So I live in Scottsdale, Arizona. Sunny Scottsdale, Arizona. It's just going to be a mild 100 degrees here today. Triple digits. We are first triple digits.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Fuck that. Jeez.
Fuck that. I was born and raised in Colorado, the Rocky Mountains. Awesome place to grow up. Landed here about 15 years ago. Let me see. I have a husband, 2 kids, just living the life. How did I meet Bronnie? I met Bronnie through mutual friends of mine. Mm-hmm. My sorority sister in college, Melissa Bryan, happened to meet Bronnie and family years ago when living in Bristol.
Yeah, we must have been, we were probably 7. I think I was 7 when I met that whole
before you were
Bronnie family, the Bryan family. Yeah,
well,
it was
Bronnie.
It was in Portugal. That's where you met.
Yeah. So then we ended up going to Portugal a few summers ago, and we got to meet your amazing family. And we were walking through this beautiful resort, and all of a sudden, Melissa and Richard had said, "Look out for some of our friends. We have them looking out for you." And I'm like, in it, like an entire resort in Portugal. Yeah, sure. Like that's going to happen. Right. And we were walking down the sidewalk one day, and all of a sudden I hear Bronnie's dad, whom I'd never met before, who's like from a whole different continent, go, "Is that Danny and Jill?" And he says that like this British guy who's trying to have an American accent. And
nice.
Like we had passed them like 100 yards ago. We turned around and we're like, "Yes, do we know you?" And he's like, "Oh my gosh, you were Americans. I heard you walking by. We were told to look out for you." So anyway, we've kind of been fast friends since then.
Yeah.
No way. That's pretty cool.
Families. Yeah, it was very cool.
Nice.
Oh, we're the best. We all we bonded over the white sangria.
We did
in Portugal.
And putt golf, which your mom very grudgingly let us use your golf sticks.
Yes, the golf
clubs.
Dear God. Yeah, we got into a whole bunch of tomfoolery. Anyway, you guys have come while you were touring, and you've been by our house, and we have been.
Yes, that was in fact, guys. I must say, so second time I met Jill was in. It was on my 21st birthday, wasn't it? And we went to your house, and she took me indoors skydiving.
That is so cool. I would love to do that.
It was insane.
I would have included you.
Damn it.
He's like,
next time. I say next time I'm in America. I've never been to America ever. So I would love to go to America one day. And so next time I'm in America, I will swing by.
I'm going to plan on seeing you. I'll take you skydiving.
Yes. I'd love that. That'd be so
Every time we see you, this has to be our mission.
Got it.
Go skydiving.
Nice. Make it happen.
Wicked. That's so cool. So, Jill.
Yeah.
What do you do? Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. So I actually am a grief therapist. I work in mental health. I'm working and trained in specifically working with survivors of suicide. So a survivor of suicide, just to be clear, is not an individual that has attempted suicide and lived. It is actually a family that has been left behind after losing a loved one to suicide. So that's what I specialize in. I do a lot of other stuff. I mean, I work in anxiety and relationship issues, and I really have a heart for working with teens and young adults, but I do a lot of grief work.
Right. Oh, okay. That's really, cool. Really interesting.
It's pretty cool what you do. Yeah.
I'm sure it comes with a lot of emotions, what you do. Like it can be rewarding, but then it can also be like you get quite a lot taken on at the same time. Oh wow, that's super, super interesting.
I don't always sleep too great at night, but I figure it's well worth it.
There's a lot that can go through your head when you're doing something like that.
I worry about my people. I worry about my people even when I'm not with them. So I think that's part of what makes a good therapist good at their skill, is that they're always trying to figure a way to be the most help that they can for the people that they work with. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That's really
that's so
cool.
nice to hear as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So how old were you, and when did you decide to go into what you were doing?
I'm old. I'm as old as your
Girl,
mom.
You're 21.
I am 48, and interesting question because
you don't look a day over 21.
I would have taken 37, girl.
I wouldn't have thought that you look 48. I do have to give you that.
Exactly.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. You are unbiased. So honestly, I went to grad school for counseling and psychology, and I wanted to be a marriage and family therapist. I wanted to bring people together. I was always that girl in high school and college that everybody came to with their problems. I'm sure, many people can relate. Yeah. And I was always kind of somewhat objective. So I figured out after college that actually I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I knew I didn't want to go back to school because I'm not a school person. I actually hate school.
Amen.
Right? Amen. So I worked for a judge actually for a couple years. And we saw conflict in the courtroom every single day. And I was so interested in what made the defendants and the criminals' minds work. Like what got them to that place where they committed that crime or were a part of an assault or a robbery or even a homicide. Like what happened in that person's life that got them there? Right. So then I was like, okay, I need to go dig deeper. So I went to grad school and here I am. Not what I thought I would do, but I love it and I'm super passionate about it.
That's so cool.
People
That's
so interesting. You guys, they're so interesting, aren't they?
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
That's wild. So it wasn't something that you were like you had your heart set on from like a young age. No. It was something that you kind of grew into. Like as you grew as a person, you kind of figured this is the kind of thing that I'm interested in. This is what I kind of want to learn about.
In my 20s. I mean, I think the more life experience you have, the more you kind of figure out what you're really, really passionate about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you have any influences to, bring you to that side of?
So I told you that I worked for a judge. So I got a job 2 days after I graduated from college. And I was scared to death. I only got the interview because my sister worked in the courthouse too. And I sat down in front of this guy in this black robe and I was like, ooh, this is intimidating. He is still one of my best friends. He is one of the nicest human beings on the face of the earth. He is a lovely, lovely, kind soul. But he, during our interview, goes, so when are you going to graduate school? And I literally was like, dude, I just graduated 2 days ago. Like, never. But he was one of those older individual influencing role models that was always like, Jill, you have this incredible way for telling people things that they don't want to hear. And you need to do something with that. So he let me take graduate classes in the middle of the workday. Like just find that one person in your life that just appreciates you for who you are and you do more with it. It was a judge of all things. Like who would have thought? But he really just motivated me to kind of follow my passion.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. Nice. That's great.
Very
and it's so cool that you guys are still like friends. I think is like a really cool thing about it.
I love him dearly.
Yep. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So I have a question that is something that's from my own perspective and then from friends' perspective and then a couple of people who have been asking about this.
I'm ready.
Could you explain like functional ways that guys in particular are able to open up and like seek help when they don't feel like they're inclined to seek help? Maybe it's because they feel like they're an alpha male, or maybe it's because like it's not say frowned upon, but in today's society it's far more looked up on for girls to ask for help than for guys to carry the ship. So like would you be able to explain like functional ways that they might be able to go and seek help without like taking that big step and going to like approach a therapist or something like that?
Damn, Chris, you're going right in. Like that is an excellent question. Okay, so I will say I will say that in my own private practice, what I've seen happen in the last year with young males has been really, really interesting. I probably have seen the biggest influx or increase in 20-something-year-old males in my practice than I've ever seen before.
Right.
So it really is, you know, they're saying like the Generation Xers or millennials, take that back. The millennials, like counseling is trendy and cool. Well, in some cases, not all of the time, right? But I will say it is starting to catch on, and I have more 21, 22, 23-year-old males that are coming in now to talk to me, because honestly, it's a lot easier to talk to a stranger than it is to talk to a friend or somebody else that has expectations of you. So I think first and foremost, like if there's any of your listeners that hear that are young and male and they think, oh, I don't want to have to be weak and be that guy that goes to counseling, I'm going to assure you it is going to be easier to go to a therapist or a counselor for you probably than it will be to talk to your mom, dad, your coach, or your friend if you don't have those people in your life, right? And I think you guys are way more aware than you've ever been in the history of young males. So just, you know, don't be afraid, like maybe not to talk to another guy, because I do know that there's still a stigma there, but even find a comfortable girlfriend that you can chat with.
Yeah. All right. So you think like the key would be to sort of just almost bite the bullet and go and speak to maybe a stranger, obviously not just a random guy, but it's all Chris, it's all about being vulnerable. Like I would say first and foremost, like no harm, no foul, get over yourself. First off. And be vulnerable, because if you can be vulnerable now, the rest of your life, if you can be vulnerable and learn new coping skills or learn new tools that you can use next year and the year after and the year after, you're going to have such a richer life. If you can just like be scared now and take the jump, and you can use the skills you're going to learn in a couple counseling sessions for the rest of your life. It's kind of like, you know, are you going to go, people go in every year for a physical. I don't know. They do in the UK, right? Like you go into the doctor for like physical wellness checks? No, not particularly. But I think maybe that's because we have the health service. If something is wrong at any time, we can just go in. So I guess that's kind of like.
Here in the US, people tend to schedule an annual appointment with their doctor for physical, like head to toe, right? Just draw your blood, make sure everything's running well. But the way the world culture thinks, they don't think to go in and check their head once a year. Well, the brain is the biggest organ in your body. It's just an organ in your body. If your liver, your kidneys aren't working well, if your heart isn't working well, you're going to go in, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, be vulnerable and get over yourself and just go, it's another organ that I need to go have checked out. And it doesn't mean I'm crazy.
Sorry, I'm a bit new to this chat because my internet totally blew out.
Something just completely died. So from what I got from that,
it was really good stuff, Bronnie.
It's very, very interesting. Is that be brave, and it's probably easier, although it's scarier, to seek help from someone who is a stranger, because there's not like I'd assume that in my head when I hear that, there's not like the judgment element of it because it's a stranger. There's not the like they could tell anyone about this because it's a stranger. Like there's comfort in just opening up to someone who doesn't know enough.
It's their job as well. It's confidential, and you know that you can trust them and put your full trust. Because I mean, I've seen people, Chris. I know that you've seen people about it. And I feel like it's way easier going to a doctor and saying, my brain sucks, instead of your parents. Because your parents, most parents, they want to give their child the best life ever. And if they have their son or daughter going to them saying, I'm depressed, I'm so sad, I don't want them to feel like, oh, am I failing you?
Right.
If you get me? I feel like that's a lot of, kids and teenagers. I think a lot of them, because I get fans saying it's so hard telling my parents, and I feel that, Chris feels that, because it's so hard because you love your parents so much, you don't want to feel like
so I guess like going to a professional, going to someone who is not a part of your life already, kind of takes away that worry of, is this going to affect other people in my life as well?
Exactly. Yeah. And they don't have any expectations of you. Your parents have expectations of you, right? So
right, yeah.
It, you know, even your coaches and your friends have expectations of you. Your boss has expectations of you. Somebody that doesn't know you but only knows your situation, right?
Definitely.
You're just going to feel a lot more comfortable. I call it like verbal vomiting, like vomiting in front of a counselor without needing to explain anything else. Yeah, it actually is easier to go in and talk to a specialist.
That's really good. That's really good. See, that's not anything that I even particularly thought about when I because I've seen people, I've spoken to people, and I've spoken to like friends and family and all that kind of stuff about like how I felt in the past, how I feel now, like etc. But I never even thought about it like that. And that's coming from someone who's actually gone and spoken to someone. I'd never even thought about the fact that it's so much easier to just blurt it out to someone. Verbally
and once your relationship is over with your counselor or your therapist, you're probably not going to see them again. Do you know what I mean? Where as if you share a deep dark secret, I don't care what it is, a childhood trauma, you know, you cheated on your boyfriend, whatever it is, if you share that with a friend, you know that friend is going to have that information forever. And there's always going to be this feeling of like, is she going to pull that out at any time she wants to? Like if this goes bad,
things think against you.
Right. Yeah. And if you go to a therapist who is a stranger, you're going to have that relationship for a short period of time and then it's over. Right.
Yeah.
The vault goes with that other person. It doesn't follow you around in your personal life.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
But I also feel like if you can speak to therapists about it, and then if you tell your friend that you're having, you know, mental health issues, I feel like the friend automatically will be like, I've had the same thing, but I've never spoken to anyone about it. And I think it's so good telling people like that you can confide in, that, you know.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, definitely.
Because it is so common. So
100%.
Jill, we have some fan questions for you, girl.
Love it, I'm ready.
So Angie from Belgium says, how do you know what's wrong in your life? I have everything to be happy for, yet I don't feel happy.
Okay, that's a tough one. And I you know, there's a couple backup questions that I want to ask, but keeping in mind that, you know, when you are younger, when you're a teenager or in your early 20s, sometimes everything can be really great, but you still feel really heavy, right? It still feels like there's a cloud following you around. Some of that, you guys, really literally can be biological and chemical. So the brain is changing so quickly in those years, you know, 16 to 24. And they actually now say that the female brain is not fully developed until 24 years old. That's insane.
Wow.
The male brain, sorry, Chris, is not fully developed now until 28. So
I'm starting to feel that.
You should have children and grandchildren by then. What that is that your actual biological chemistry is changing so quickly that part of that can just be chemistry, but at the same time, it could be underlying depression. If you can go for a 2-week period of time without feeling joy, and you know that there are things in your life that should bring you joy, you need to go in and research that. You need to go in and see somebody and talk that through and try to figure out, is there, you know, something that you can do to help yourself, if it be nature or diet or a prescription. I'm not a big prescription gal, but there really are very mild things that can help you when your body chemistry is working against you.
Right. That's a good
that
answer.
may not be an exact answer, but
it makes sense. It's a good answer. Like to know that, like, especially because like Angie's in that period of like her brain isn't fully it's not
functioning.
Yeah, exactly. And to know that like it's normal, I think, is another thing. It's a comfort.
So normal.
So many, literally, because when I was 17, 18, I felt so dark. And then a couple of years later, I was telling all my friends, like, you know, when we were all like having a girls' night, and back then we were all in the same position, but none of us told anyone, because you want to feel like you're the happy, positive girl, or boy, and everyone has shit days, and it's just totally normal. And
sometimes those
then even if you are,
Sorry, Brian, didn't mean to cut you off, but
I'm sorry, I couldn't really hear.
We just want to be normal. Like when you're that age, you just want to be normal 100%. And if you're portraying like you're that happy person, you feel like like people wouldn't love you if you portrayed to be somebody else. You have to be that person that people expect of you. So it is totally, totally normal. I would just say, if you go 14 solid days without being able to feel any joy at all, then you need to go out and ask somebody about it or dig a little deeper. But if there are things that bring you joy, then right now you need to fill your life with more of them. And 9 times out of 10, it's nature. You guys, I'm going to tell you, I know you live in a cloudy area, but nature, there have been 2 studies that have come out in the last year that nature is 10 times greater than any antidepressant that you can take.
Damn.
Outside, man. Seriously, walk, hike. It actually
true. I got my Fitbit. I have to do 10K steps a day at least. Literally, when I do that, I feel great. The days I don't do
it creates actual chemical endorphins in your body that then travel up to your brain that help you experience life different. Yep.
Exactly. Because I used to be a night owl. I used to go to sleep at 3 or 4 a.m. songwriting, which was good. But I would wake up at 2 p.m. and I'd have no energy. I'd have my breakfast, which was basically like late lunch. And then I'd be like, oh God, I can't be arsed like walking around the block doing 10K. So I'll just go write some songs. And then I'll stay up till 3 again. But now I've been going to bed at 11. Literally, even if I'm writing a song, I'll be like, right, 11, getting up at 6:30, 7. And I feel 10 times better.
Yes, girl. Okay, that's a perfect point. So especially right now, so I was a part of this. I listened to a 2-day conference this week by the American Association of Suicidology, and I was taking all these notes about how COVID or the coronavirus has been impacting crisis lines. And there is one particular text line that I want to make sure that you guys get before we finish here today. But it's a 24/7 text line. And they do have it in UK, Ireland, and the US. And they're going to start utilizing it in 5 different countries in 5 different languages very, very soon. But that text line, they have seen that the text volume of numbers have gone up by 47%.
Wow.
Kids that are 17 and younger since the coronavirus started.
I think that's great. As in not as in, but as in like young people are finally, they can reach out. When I was 17, I didn't know anyone who openly spoke about it, who was reaching out. I didn't even know that was a thing about, helplines and stuff.
Right.
That's insane.
Well, and Chris, to your point from earlier, for young males, like it's so much easier to reach out via text than to make the phone call, right? Because there is a greater stigma for you guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, COVID is really impacting all of us, but for youth that are at that age that already feel a little cloudy and dark, like now they're completely isolated and not able to distract their minds all day long.
Yeah, definitely.
To your point, Bronnie, it's even more important right now to keep a routine. Like you have to force yourself to keep a routine. If you're up by 7 a.m. every day and you're in bed by 11, that's awesome, or 9. But you have to keep a routine. You have to eat meals. You have to drink a lot of water. You have to get out in nature. Like you need to force yourself to survive this.
Nice.
It's so true.
You've actually just answered my next question. So my question was, what things can people do every day that will help you cope with this difficult quarantine period of mental health? And I think you've just nailed that perfectly. Like, get into a routine, stay physically healthy, like get as much in from outside, whether that's like actual nature or like listening to stuff and reading stuff and watching stuff. Like, take as much in as you possibly can. That's
and
really
listening
good.
to motivational podcasts. Like Jill, you were on the whose
Grohl
podcast?
Nation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chris listened to it as well. We found it so interesting.
It
was really,
honestly
really
so
cool.
guys, listen to this. Also, Jill has a book.
Oh, you did not. You're so
look at that.
Go buy it. Honestly, it's amazing. I've literally just started reading it because literally I've had about 5 books in the past 2 years that I've been meaning to read.
Oh, I'm sure.
One of them was Chris's book, Dave Grohl's
She's had it for a year.
You
and
love
she
Dave
hasn't
Grohl?
read it.
Do you not know this about me?
You love Dave Grohl?
Foo Fighters are numero uno, and Easter Sunday, April 12th, those were my tickets in Phoenix, canceled. I am a huge Dave Grohl fan. Anyway. I love
that. That's Chris's love.
He is my biggest musical idol ever.
He's amazing. You want to talk about resiliency and motivation, and he's probably a little mentally off. And that's what makes him so damn Dave Grohl, amazing and great and creative. And
it's insane.
But now, okay, Foo.
I love all of his, you know, the Sound City documentary, the Foo Fighters. What's that Foo Fighters documentary called?
The new one?
Which one?
Not the new one.
Oh, is she frozen?
Times like these?
Really cute like this.
Oh, what? There's there's the Sonic Highway.
My Wi-Fi's gone.
Sonic Highways.
Oh no, Sonic Highways one is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, you're back.
What's the one that me, you, and Pete watched in Europe on tour?
Was it Sonic Highways? Where they record a song in every city for that album.
I bet it was.
No.
Yeah, probably.
Anyways.
You guys see that they are releasing emails. It's called Foo Fridays. So every Friday, Dave is sending out an email with something for you to watch over the weekend that keeps you motivated and happy.
Oh,
that's
sweet.
Cool.
In fact, I was literally on Instagram like an hour ago. I saw that he set up an Instagram profile with short stories.
Oh, I love that.
He talks about like short stories of his childhood or random stuff. I think he's only done like 4 posts because he doesn't have an Instagram, does he?
No.
But
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling blue, just follow Dave Grohl.
There you go.
Just watch any Dave Grohl interview because he is the most inspirational person you'll ever meet.
I will say, for those that are locked in the house right now, I mean, just to kind of piggyback on what Chris was saying, music is huge. But be really aware. I mean, obviously I'm talking to musicians. I say that music is my therapy. I really do believe that music is my therapy. But be careful what you're listening to, right? Listen to music that makes you happy or brings up your vibe or brings up your energy. Journal, write, just be creative. But what I'm seeing is there are memes everywhere that's saying like, be productive. Did you clean out your closet? Have you, set your life plan? Use this time to really find something meaningful. I'm calling bullshit on that, because what that's doing is for those adults and kids that are struggling at home just to survive. Maybe some kids needed to go to school to survive their day because they don't have great home environments, right?
Yeah.
And so nobody says you need to be super productive right now. Just take care of yourself. Just take care of yourself. Bottom line.
Yeah, because we in England, the amount of abuse is in couples. It's gone up because
domestic abuse and like divorce, like not rates but levels and everything's gone up. Everything's gone up, and it's quite sad to see. But I think like I don't know. I think it's kind of bringing out people's not true colors, but like it's bringing out the best in people, but it's also bringing out the worst in people.
Yeah.
And I think maybe people are trying too hard to try and sort of get through this, where actually what they could be doing is, like you were saying, is like, you don't need to write out your life plan. You don't need to figure out exactly what you want to do with your life. Just figure out every day as it comes. If you're locked inside every day, you don't need to be the guy who's like, I need to figure myself out. You need to be like, okay, well, what am I going to do for the next 4 hours that's going to be productive?
Yes.
Exactly. I also feel that a lot of people being told to, if you're in work every day, a lot of people are like, oh, I just want a self-care day. I want a self-care week. Now's a chance. But I feel like a lot of people are just, they're just chilling, as in like, oh, what am I going to do? But if you properly take a self-care week, all about yourself, focus on yourself, because that's all you can do. Right. Focus on yourself and then focus on your friends. And yeah, I think the best, just lock yourself in your room, listen to your favorite music, listen to your favorite podcast, get inspired, and don't feel, I think a lot of people are feeling pressured to try and get inspired. I think just let it let it happen naturally. Watch your favorite documentaries, watch your favorite movies, do anything that you want to do. And then I think from that, then you start to get inspired.
Yeah, definitely. definitely.
One day at a time, 100%, girl.
Absolutely. Have we got one more fan question that we want to throw out? We've got about 10 minutes left.
10 minutes. In fact, Jill, I wanted to ask you about this because I saw this on your Instagram story and your whole Instagram shebang and Facebook. How was the Ellen show?
That's
you guys,
so
I've got
cool.
Ellen. Holy cow.
That's so cool.
The Ellen show was pretty amazing. I'm not going to lie. It was like, pinch me. Is this happening? We flew to LA on a Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. We flew home Tuesday night at 11 p.m. We flew in just to go to Universal Studios and see Ellen. It's really, really hard to get tickets. But here's the best part. They don't tell you who the guests are until you get there, right? So you get there and wait in line, right? And then Ellen's producer comes out and she goes, now, do you want to know who it is? And you're like,
you're like yeah.
A, please tell me Ellen's here. It's not a guest. And B, like, if it's John Travolta, I'm going to be so disappointed. Sorry for John Travolta. Not included my vote at all. Now, I told you I'm a musical girl, so I like all genres. Bronnie knows this. Like, I literally, I love Blink. I could do a little John Denver. I'm always going to, I could do some Avril Lavigne, but I actually also do Justin Bieber. I hate to admit it. It is the truth. So, of course, who was the guest?
Oh, it was Bieber. That's
Wait,
so
was
cool.
it when he burst out of the box?
It was so fabulous.
That's
and
so
Khalid
good.
was the musical guest, which I had just seen Khalid in concert like 2 months before.
Wait, who?
Khalid.
He's so good.
Oh, sweet.
So good.
Sorry, no,
we call him
it glitched.
Khalid.
I was like,
Yeah, we call him Khalid. Is he Khalid? Khalid.
That sounds like Colleen.
He's Khalid. Wait, and then it gets better. So we filmed one episode, and just as we're about to bounce up and leave, the producer comes back out and says, sit down, we need to film one more segment because our guest for tomorrow can't make it in, so we're going to film it today. Ellen's going to go change her clothes. She came back 5 minutes later. It was David Beckham. That's all.
What a dick.
Done. Tap, I'm out.
That's so funny.
He is insane.
That's so
Jill,
good.
do you want to know a funny story about Mum with David Beckham?
Yes.
So we were in.
Tell Mum that I saw him like this close.
That close.
Tattoos everywhere. He winked at me. He actually winked at me. All right. Anyway.
Claim to fame. Claim to fame.
So good looking.
You better put that in your bio. David Beckham winked at me. So we were on our, we do our yearly summer trips to America. So instead of buying tickets to the, you do the Star tour bus tour where you get to see everywhere.
In Beverly Hills.
We were like, right, let's just follow a bus. So we ended up going outside David Beckham's house. We're like, this is his house, and his bins were out. And Mum was like, Tom. So Tom's my older brother. So she was like, Tom, go check out what's in there, like bin and all that, and like have a photo. So Tom was like, yeah, woohoo, like as a joke, as in like who drove in to the drive? David Beckham.
Really?
And we were like, no, we're gonna look like psycho. So so we just
look like that family.
Legged it in the car and just ran off.
So funny. That's
so
funny.
That family.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't regret one single minute of it.
Oh no, it was great.
Live life.
Nice.
Live life.
That's amazing.
Live life.
Right. So quick fire questions. I've got 5. Super simple. Right. Tea or coffee?
What are the rules? I just have to
anything.
As fast as you can. As fast as you can. Tea or coffee? Coffee.
Coffee.
Football or basketball?
Every day. What?
Wait, whoa. 4 shots?
This is
no way.
Americano. You European people drink Americanos. Large Americano, 4 shots of espresso. I'm ready.
Oh,
let's go.
God. Football or basketball?
Football.
Fair play. Favorite Netflix series?
Oh, Pretty Little Liars.
Ooh, I need
Fair
to
enough.
watch that. I need to watch
All drama.
Favorite bands you've seen live?
Foo Fighters. Great band out of Australia. Oh, I can't remember their name right now. I love them. I can't think of it currently. The Weeknd is good.
Oh,
nice.
Jonas Brothers, believe it or not too bad.
Yes.
Nice. My sister went to see the Jonas Brothers. Said that they were very good.
Your little sister?
And my elder sister.
Okay, good.
Favorite band of all time. I feel like we've covered this.
Oh, it would be Dave Grohl.
Foo Fighters. Yeah. Nice,
Hell
nice,
yeah.
nice. Okay, well,
Jill,
favorite Foo Fighters album, real quick.
The one that has Hero on it. Which one is that?
That's your favorite song, Chris?
That is my favorite song of all time.
Chris, I need to share a video with you later. So I jumped off of a telephone pole this summer that was doing a ropes course. And I was at I was 200 feet up, and it was like a trust fall. And the guys.
And you're attached.
I was attached, but I was so scared. I was sweating. I actually thought I was going to cry. It was like this whole thing. My insides were shaking. And I was like, in my head, like, I have to do this. And the guys on the ground were like, we know you love music, Jill. What do you want us to play right now? And I said, I don't know, but I just need some music on. So I'll get out of my head. They turned on Hero. And as soon as I heard it, I literally did the free fall. I went back.
And you were like, yep, this is it.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's so good. It's yeah. The Color and the Shape is the album.
Gentlemen.
Oh, The Color and the Shape, yeah. Wasting Light
is my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Album.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
In fact, Jill, I want to tell Chris. So, Danny, your husband, wasn't he meant to play the role? He's great. Wasn't he meant to play the role in The Shining?
So Danny Torrance, Red Rum. My husband, whose name is Denver, was actually cast at 6 years old as Danny Torrance in the original the movie The Shining. He got the part. He was offered the part, and then his mom read the entire script and yanked him.
Oh no!
Yeah.
How
insane! That's okay, because if he was Danny Torrance, we probably would have never met.
There, silver lining. Absolutely.
Thank God for him not getting the part. No jokes.
That's so good. That's
insane.
A great story. That's sad though. That's a sad thing to think about. Really.
It's kind of, but some of those childhood actors don't always end up just right.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, look at Macaulay. I love Macaulay Culkin, and listening to him talk now is so interesting. He's such an interesting
it's
guy.
insane.
But he did go through a phase.
That phase, yeah. I think everyone in that
rhymes with hugs.
Hugs? Lots and lots of hugs.
Lots and lots of hugs.
That's amazing. It's been so fun. I am so
honored that
you asked me to join you.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on. We've got less than a minute left.
Also, wait, can we just shout out to Ben is 21. What did you do? You got a freaking mariachi band.
That's so cool. And Ben is your son.
Ben is my son. He turned 21 last week, and I put a cooler outside of the house, and it was a bar. And I had people drop off alcohol all day long into the bar.
That's so cool. That
kid got pretty crank, you guys.
Nice.
Amazing.
Nice. Well played.
This has been amazing. You guys are awesome.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. We've absolutely appreciated it. I just want to jump back to one more thing. The text line that you said.
Oh, the text line. Please write it down.
Yeah, I have got it down now.
So, okay, in the UK, it's 85258, takes you to a 24/7 text line. In Ireland, it's 086-1800-280, or you guys can just look up www.crisistextline.org. Has all of the information. A really powerful organization.
Amazing.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been awesome. And
love you guys.
The coolest conversation.
Love you, girl.
Awesome.
Yes, go for it.
Wicked. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for listening. Jill, thank you for being here. This has been Mom It's My Life.
Thank you guys for listening.
Wicked.
Mom It's My Life.
Peace out. Bye.
Bye.